On the news today, Friends Initiative honor Governor Mba's achievements. In Abuja, Senate House gets new permanent secretary. And on the business news, Central Bank of Nigeria announces $42.01 billion as external reserves. And on the foreign scene, President Biden to meet with Pope Francis in January. On our special report segment, Igbo traders in Lagos lament low patronage. Good afternoon and welcome to Afia TV News Today, reaching you live from Enugu State, Nigeria. I am Marvelous Apwamagan. We begin the news in Enugu, where the Friends Initiative, a support group for the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, held its Grand Appreciation Day to honor the Governor's visionary leadership and his progressive projects in Enugu State. The event also served as an end-of-year celebration. During the opening remarks, Honorable Cornelius Ogbonna Ede, the PDP chairman in Kano East local government area and Director General of the Friends Initiative, praised the efforts of the governor. He emphasized the group's prayers for Governor Mba's success and their unwavering belief in his ability to lead.
And then they for Enugu State now. Liberata, guys, who look in Chineke. Makana Onyelaye is one governor. Oyadale Rolo, Oyadale Paishu. I am not saying that Chineke doesn't have Jesus. Tabu Bachakaraka. I am an idea to Kadabia. And I did that I make it, no, they are no okay. The Friends Initiative are the late. Our word is our bond. And I will thank you for coming. I believe that time again. I believe in the Chineke. No, you're a simple governor. They can watch it and all your eye seeking. And since I'm intelligent, I can't do when I don't watch it again. Only do I. Otu no bia. Watano, the time at Rabrata. Since 2018, I believe no where to I governor. I know as a club, as an association. After that prayer, change the west side, the Guru, Barisa, Peter, the Bishimba. I just pray, as I can't go there, no kitchen can wait, the Agapota. I below the one named Mother. This young man, every go below me. He like people men. Na Lagos, na down oil stream industry. I see no game in Enugu State. I believe in every bit and banner, and that's why we came together as a group. You see, in the English adage, you say, well begun is half done. For the fact that the governor has done a lot in this less than 2 years, we believe that's going to go more. And we expect him to go more into security. He is going to develop the state, but without security, and he is working hard to make sure that security is everywhere. Not only in Enugu urban, but generally in the whole state. With that, investors who are coming from outside will be more comfortable in putting in their resources into the state.
It's very clear. If you are in Enugu State, even if you are not in Enugu State, your media have done a lot by showcasing his antecedents, his program, his project. So we have seen what he have done in 1 year plus. And we know he's doing more. He have more projects in his mind. There's even an undergoing project which people do not see, which will come out in the next few months. So the expectation is high because he's doing us proud. He's doing Enugu State, not just Friends Initiative. And that is what we saw before we organized this group to support him before he became the governor. The Friends Initiative, the first support group that followed him 2019 when he's losing the ambition. We were doing it underground until the day he declared that he wanted to contest. We came out full force. So our expectation is high. I know he's going with that business.
Okay, sir. Governor, in fact, he has covered the field, and in terms of education, is there. Road infrastructure is there, and there are other critical infrastructures like road projects, hospitals. Governor is there. I think the governor has covered the field. It's just to complete the projects. And he said that in one of the occasions that good things are still on the way. Yes.
First of all, we want to commend the governor for being so innovative. He has done so much within this short period, and we need to appreciate him for that first. From what I'm seeing, the governor is changing the narrative for good in all sectors. From education, you can see the smart school and all the rest of them. From health sector, type 2 hospitals are ongoing. Road construction, they have already flagged up the construction of Ugu-Oke-Nsukka Road, which is the most important thing for anybody coming from Nsukka. Because I remember those days when we moved from that side through Egede to 9th Mile and to Enugu. Assuming, if not for this kind of innovative leadership, it would have been a terrible thing for anybody coming from Enugu now today. But we thank God who brought somebody like Peter Ndubuisemba to this stage. He has been very innovative, rekindling the tradition of interrogating old assumptions in the quest for advancement and development. We commend him so much. We are still looking forward for more construction and all that within that zone. I know he's still on his way to complete many of them, but so far, so good.
Well, you know, Enugu West is more of rural area. It's not urbanized. So there are so many rural areas which not just the state will do it, the local government should equally come into it. Okay? So people shouldn't expect that the governor will do everything. The local government has its own share of duty to perform. But so far, he's stretching his arms above, beyond just what the state can do. And I give him kudos for that.
Our governor is an all-rounder. I think he's taking virtually everything at the same time. So I'll just say he should keep it up, because I don't think there's any sphere that he has left behind. He's in education, he's in the health sector, he's in business everywhere. Hospitality is everywhere. So I'll just say, job well done, keep it up.
Meanwhile, the Jele Masquerade sculpture has been unveiled officially by the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Igwe Alfred Nnaemeka Achebe, in company of Enugu State traditional rulers and his active chairman of the Enugu Tourism Board, Lady Rita Mba. Afia TV Chief Correspondent Nathalie Ukum monitored the ceremony and now reports.
The ceremony, a rich display of Igbo culture, tradition and beauty, marked the official unveiling of the Ijele masquerade sculpture at the Ono Asata roundabout in Ogui, Obiago, Enugu. The sculpture of the revered masquerade was unveiled by the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Igwe Alfred Nnemeka Achebe, in the company of the Executive Chairman of the Enugu State Tourism Board, Lady Rita Mba, the Chairman of the Council of Traditional Rulers of Enugu State, Igwe Samuel Asado, and the former Chairman, Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Lawrence Agobozo, alongside traditional rulers from Enugu State and other stakeholders. Lady Mba, in her address, explained the concept behind the masquerade and honored with a moment of silence the renowned traditional Ogene musician, late Okezie Chikezie Mba, widely known as Iboja.
Igwe Achebe, the chairman of the Enugu State Igwe's Council, our Royal Majesties here present. Today is a great day. Today, the Obi of Onitsha is going to unveil the Ijele structure, the artwork, a wonderful piece of artwork here. There's a concept behind this work. The concept is that the Ogui people are known for their Ogene and their masquerades. The Enugu people are known for their culture. And so, we decided to do this wonderful edifice here. Don't forget that this is the place where Enugu residents, tourists alike, converge during festive periods to watch the masquerade. So for that reason, we deemed it fit to put this wonderful Ijele masquerade here. Please permit me to request for a moment of silence for our great son, Iboja, who died not long ago. He is well known for his masquerade and Ogene music. Please, a moment of silence for Iboja. May his soul rest in peace.
Also, Ferdinand Ike Anikwe shared insights on the concept of the masquerade.
Nnemeka Achebe Obi Onitsha Igwe anyị kene enu mere echizi ihe eji ekwu okwu n'aka Rita Mba nwaanyị mara mma Ugocha ka oyezie oke o siga ngozie ọmalịta nwoke a na-ekwuru anyị okwu ka ọ gbazie igwe ka igwe ga-emepe ha anyị na-abịa unu mara ekweghị m ka nso bekee mana unu mee ya n'ihu WhatsApp.
In his address, Igwe Alfred Achebe commended the governor of Enugu State and described the masquerade as peculiar to the people of Anambra and Enugu.
Enugu State, our distinguished executive director of the Tourism Board, former commissioner for tourism, and the Honorable Commissioner for Tourism, one why. Because Krechi Yazen, Obu Nukufangule na Anumeba Tata, Wolkumani Webata, Napolmo Webata, Enugu Isiobodo, Anibonine, Adabaya, Coach, so if Abunage Meka Enugu Dima, Odiabundi Mpa Rene. So the problem can be attacked. All man can do it. Also, Ferdinand Anikwe, we call him Benkenke, we call Makijele, more come morning, and all the Anambra and the Tijele. You know, it's peculiar to us, and I am FIJ Tijele. Now, EJP Aquakita, Aku Kodini Mea Bijele, if any IJP, Bromado, the Nigella, I could you approve more morning, so I can Enugu.
Sena Governor Peter Mba Bijele no ya. Peter Mba Bijele no ya.
A highlight of the event was the unveiling of the plaque by His Royal Highness the Obi of Onitsha.
Ijele masquerade sculpture unveiled, commissioned on the 19th of December 2024 by my humble self, courtesy Board City Beautification 2024. Destination Enugu. All by the grace of God and to the glory of God. Amen.
Following this, the sculpture was unveiled in its full glory.
Amen. And to appreciate our antiquity as a nation. Thank you very much.
Enugu residents who observed the unveiling were elated about the development.
What government is doing is good. It's cultural. It's bringing the culture of Enugu people. In the 80s, people used to rally around Obiago. This is a cultural street from here to down to Obiago. So it's like bringing back the old days.
We do appreciate the government for bringing this into our community. We are so excited. Okay, we are happy about that.
How about you, sir? Go ahead.
The same thing is very, very nice because it shows that this place is the home of masquerade culture in Enugu State. Very, very nice.
Historically, the site where the sculpture has been placed was the destination for masquerade displays during festive seasons, such as the mass homecoming at Christmas. In an earlier interview, Lady Rita Mba shared more light on the essence of the masquerade.
It's really a wonderful thing to have that piece of art positioned in that area. And what we're trying to do is that we're trying to tell people who we are as a people, our cultural heritage, our beliefs and everything. You know, that Honest Roundabout, there's something really significant about that roundabout. That roundabout happens to be the place where Enugu residents and tourists alike converge during festive celebrations to watch the masquerade. I myself, as a kid, I remember my parents used to take us to that particular roundabout to watch the masquerades. You know, we run around chasing the masquerades. The masquerade gets upset, turns back, chasing us all around, and then we repeat the same process again. So when we embarked on the city beautification, Enugu city beautification and roundabout scheme, and I passed through that roundabout, I said to myself, we should put an Ijele masquerade or any other masquerade at that roundabout to depict what the Obi people are known for and to bring back the memories back to those people who used to go there at that roundabout to watch masquerade during those days.
The popular Opoma masquerade, traditional music groups also entertained spectators at the site of the ceremony, imitating a welcoming of the masquerade. Recall that the sculpture by an artist, Sunday Chukwu, commissioned by the Enugu State government, has since its installation generated excitement in the state. The installation of the sculpture is in continuation of the city beautification and roundabout scheme of the Enugu State government through the Enugu State Tourism Board. The Ijele masquerade sculpture has just been unveiled at the Onu Asata roundabout Enugu by the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Nemeka Achebe. This sculpture has brought so much joy to Enugu residents. They are so excited. Traditional rulers also just left here and also gave their blessings, praising the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndebisemba. We hope that this masquerade brings a new ray of sunshine to Onu Asata. We'll continue to monitor how well the government maintains it. From Onu Asata roundabout in Enugu, Nathalie Uku reporting for Afia TV.
They did not inform us before putting that thing. That Ijele is not from Enugu State. It's not known for Ijele. Ijele is from Anambra State, not from Enugu. We call our own Egugu, Omambara, like their governor. They call their own Omambara or Enyim. So we don't know anything about this. And whoever built that thing, like our people used to say, in Igbo language. All Oroma. Because that is not complete masquerade. That thing there is not complete masquerade. Because people are not supposed to be seeing some certain things inside the masquerade. They are spirits. They insulted the masquerade. So they are supposed to go back there. They know what they're supposed to do in front of that masquerade. It is not supposed to be there. Because they have consulted us. No matter we are not doing Ijele, I'll tell them what to do. So they're supposed to go back. People that knows Ijele will not be happy with them. That's what I would tell you.
If all must have access to justice in Abia State, there is a need to strengthen the rule of law by effectively implementing the Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2017. This is the center of the stakeholders' capacity building organized by the Center for Transparency Advocacy in collaboration with the Abia State Ministry of Justice. Emmanuel Azwe, Afia TV's Bureau Chief in Abia State, tells us more.
The Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law, signed by former Governor Kezi Bazo on December 30, 2017, was domesticated from the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. 7 years later, its provisions face widespread violations denying victims access to justice. To address this, the Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA, in collaboration with the Abia State Ministry of Justice, organized a training for stakeholders from the media, security agencies, and judiciary on strengthening the rule of law through implementing the law. The Executive Director of CTA, Faith Nwadishi, emphasized the importance of the training.
There are three particular stakeholders that we will identify in the administration of that law. And citizens sit at the center of it. So if you're talking about access to justice and citizens don't know their right or what they should do, you are just going around the circle without really making impact. So we are trying to get citizens to be aware of this law so that they can engage more with security agencies and engage the other stakeholders. So we are looking at those who are the first points of the crime. The police, the NSCDC, the DSS, all of those security agents. Then you follow on to that when they do that, and then you get the lawyers involved, and then eventually you get to court. What happens when judgment is passed? Then you go to where they take them, the correctional services. So people need to know their rights along these lines.
A legal practitioner and facilitator of the training, Chiemezialam Oluoha Steve, outlined the law's key provisions and guidelines.
Principal stakeholders in the criminal justice system to have a uniform criminal justice system that is less retributive and more transformative, in the sense that you're not just punishing the offender of the crime, you're also giving him the opportunity to get reform. You're also giving him the opportunity to get rehabilitated, so that at the end of the day, he doesn't end up committing the same crime for which he was initially brought. Effective implementation of the Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2017, we are going to streamline it to the ACJL here in Abia State. The particular areas that concerns human rights, then the areas that also concern the victims and how they are adequately compensated.
This sparked debates amongst the participants.
Are there any other places you belong to make that judge or magistrate to close his eyes and decides to do something that is out of ordinary? Take for instance, you went to the radio station, pick somebody, in the next 2 hours, that person has been judged already. Denying that person any form of time to defend himself.
Everyone has a role they play to subvert justice at one point or the other. We are answerable to somebody somewhere, somehow. And then at that point, there's always a point where your hands are tied. And it is not a one-man affair. It's unfortunate that we are talking about the ACJL, and the ACJL is only talking about the criminals. They're not talking about the law officers. We're only victims too. Where the law protects these criminals more than the enforcers, we become victims.
Yes, if a person comes to the police and make a complaint, you receive the complaint at the first instance, you record a statement, and then you go into investigation. And if at the end of the investigation you see that that person is not liable to the offense the complainant alleged against him, you release that person and charge the complainant for false information, giving false information to the police. And we've been doing this. It's just that it's not to your notice.
The facilities are congested due to some lacuna in the administration process. And to decongest the centers, the Honorable Attorney General, in his capacity, has been doing everything possible to ensure that the facility is decongested to a reasonable number. If you come to the correctional center, there are cases ordinarily would have been resolved without even coming to the correctional center. But you know, the police, they are wonderful people.
The training was supported by the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, ROLAC, in conjunction with the European Union. Further engagements with other stakeholders are planned in the coming days. In Umuahia, Emmanuel Wazwe reporting.
Thank you, Emmanuel Wazwe. Now, residents of Owerri have expressed their frustration over the challenges they are facing this year-out season. They share their concerns with our correspondent, Miriam Uyebule, in Owerri. Let's take a look.
The financial struggles faced by many residents of Imo State, like all the Nigerians, is a result of acute inflation. Onyedikachi is a middle-aged woman who sells detergent and beverage at Douglas Market in Owerri. Although she works hard at making sales every day, she can barely afford to buy goodies like clothes and toys for her 3 children for the Christmas celebrations.
I haven't bought anyone because as I priced for once, I went to take. It's very hard. It's very hard for me to buy for my first son. So I can't afford the money that they have called about.
She also finds foodstuff at the market so expensive that she can barely afford to buy them.
Even stockfish, even onions, everything is very high. Onions, now you can go to the onions, it's for 1,000 for this mistake now. It's very high. You go to the right side, that one is not able to talk.
Like Dikachi's case, many households are struggling to buy staple food like rice, meat and fish due to the rising costs. This non-stop inflation has worsened since the removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government last year. Gloria, who sells crayfish in the same market, is marveled at the rate of rising cost of her goods.
When I entered inside the market to see some of my colleagues in the market and know how they are coping with the prices, what I saw was not encouraging because so many business guys, the ones I know, young ladies and men, they have closed. They cannot even afford to buy a bag of crayfish. Like today, I sent money so that they will send me a bag of crayfish. I bought last time 230,000, but the transfer I made yesterday was 250. You can imagine the increase of the crayfish in the market. And many of them, they were like, how can I sell out 200, talk more of 200 and something thousand.
She believes that the government is largely to blame for the situation.
The problem is from the government. The reason why I said so is because they are not looking into productions. I think they are looking into all these producers and how they are hiring things in the market. it will help a lot.
Despite her hard work, Dikachi manages to make enough sales per day.
It's affecting me not muchly because how many things I used to put in my shop before is not how the thing is. I just manage myself. So even the one that I used to buy full carton, I buy half.
Yet she's determined to ensure her children are comfortable. Dikachi's story is a poignant reminder of the challenges many Nigerians face this festive season. Notwithstanding the financial struggles, her resilience and determination to hold her family together reflect the true spirit of Christmas. In Owerri, Miriam Onyebule reporting.
Still in Owerri, unreliable mobile networks are causing widespread frustration, particularly for those relying on banking apps and point-of-sale transactions. Afia TV's Bureau Chief in the state, John Kennedy, explores how residents and POS agents are navigating these issues.
Owerri bosses with energy, yet just below the surface lies a simmering frustration shared by residents and business owners alike. The corporate, a failing network system that has made digital banking and transactions a daily gamble. Queen Chiamaka, a sales girl in Owerri, shares her experience on network failure.
It has been very, very bad. Like when I mean bad, it has been really, really bad. The network has been affecting the transaction done by the customers. Also in the POS, it has been bad. Most of the times, customer will come and buy something, try to make transfer, but the network is unavailable to do the transfer. Some will do, but before I will see it in the POS machine, it will take some minutes or hours before it will reflect on the POS machine. I don't think we can cope with the network, the bad network.
The story is the same for users of mobile banking apps. Kelechi, a corporate driver, says making a simple transfer have become difficult lately. He also attributed it to the festive season.
Since last week, I've been experiencing a kind of glitch. Though it happens more during this festive period, to an extent, it's now becoming a normal thing. During festive period, I don't know what it looks like, but I think the banking modus operandi, I don't know what is going on. Most times you experience glitching, you experience after making transactions, the person that making the transaction must not have seen their own credit alert. You've been debited. Sometimes you send money, you get a reverse when it's not necessary. You do them 1, 2, 3 times. I don't know. I don't really want to start mentioning banks because let me not stain their reputations, but I feel they can only do better.
For POS operators, downtime means lost income and unhappy customers. Priska, a POS agent in Owerri, shared her frustration.
Actually, it's not really stable, most especially First Bank, UBA, Zenith, let me say sometimes Union. They don't, like, their network is not stable. Somebody might transfer money to you, it will spend up to an hour or 30 seconds, 30 minutes before you get it. And you know how people are impatient. So like the network is not stable at all. It's not stable. But when it comes to all this money points, OPay, their network is very, very stable.
The impact of poor connectivity extends beyond frustration. It is an economic drain. Businesses lose money, individuals miss critical transactions, and trust in digital banking system erodes. As Nigeria pushes forward to a cashless economy, the question remains, can the country's infrastructure support the vision? Residents like Queen and Kelechi hope for a day when they no longer have to pray before hitting send. In Owerri, John Kennedy Wonya, reporting for Afia TV.
Moving on to the national scene, the newly appointed Permanent Secretary of the State House, Temitope Fashedemi, has called on staff to embrace dedication and excellence in carrying out their duties. Speaking on Wednesday as he assumed office, Fashedemi emphasized that working in the State House is a privilege that should inspire a commitment to service. He encouraged staff to maintain a positive mindset and focus on adding value to their roles, stressing that such an attitude leads to a fulfilling career. Fashedemi assured the staff of his commitment to maintaining the progressive momentum established under his predecessor, Olufunsho Adebiyi, who has now been posted to the Ministry of Works.
Well, above all of you, I hope you will extend the same thing. I often tell my directors when I get to a new ministry that, look, all of us around the table, we should always count ourselves lucky. So, well, this is the first time I'm in a place like this. I'm usually in a technical, professional ministry, you know, for these affairs. They're buying hardware, weapons, power, engineer, so, and then I Greek. So all those ministries, that's something peculiar. They're always in that place. I mean, it's the same thing it works. So you're lucky you were there before, so you're going back home. So, but I always used to say, yes, in your field, the thoughts, you've been in the ministry for long, but we must always have something at the back of our mind. We are lucky to be sitting around this table. Anybody who does self-appraisal, self-assessment, you will know that you are not the best Nigerian to be sitting in a seat. You're not.
In his farewell remarks, Adebiyi expressed gratitude for the support he received during his tenure, describing the State House staff as exceptional in their knowledge, commitment, and loyalty.
You can be sure many of them are older than me, but you will not believe what I'm about to tell you. Even though they are older, quite a few are even more experienced. Quite a few are even much more intelligent. But tell them to jump, they will say, Oga, how high? Never do you see any of them antagonizing. Never do you see any of them challenging and say, Oga, what are you doing? I don't agree. Never. Even there is a difference. At management meeting, once I throw it open, we talk it over, we reach agreement, and once we reach agreement, it becomes binding. So I want to openly acknowledge and thank all of them. Behold, your new permanent secretary, all of you today. God bless you.
The handover ceremony marked a seamless transition in the administrative leadership of the State House, with Fashedemi pledging to build on the successes of his predecessor in serving the presidency and the nation. Away from the national front and moving on to the business scene, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced that the country's external reserves, now at $42.01 billion, are sufficient to finance the importation of goods and services for over 9 months. The declaration was made by the CBN Governor, Mr. Olayemi Kadoso, during a performance index report presentation to the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions in Abuja. According to Kadoso, Nigeria's external reserves increased from $38.35 billion as of September 30, 2024 to $42.01 billion by December 12, 2024. He attributed this growth to receipts from crude oil-related taxes and third-party receipts in the third quarter of 2024, coupled with a maintained current account surplus and improvement in the country's trade balance.
The current account surplus has strengthened consistently in the past 3 quarters, recording a surplus of $6.06 billion in third quarter 2024. This positive trend is largely attributable to a favorable trade balance driven by increased remittance inflows and decline in imports. External reserves rose to $42.01 billion as of December 12, 2024, compared with $38.35 billion on September 2024, driven largely by receipts from crude oil-related taxes and third-party receipts. This, of course, is the largest reserve figure that we have had in over 3 years. In quarter 2024, we maintained a current account surplus and saw remarkable improvements in our trade balance. Our external reserves level can finance over 9.09 months of imports of goods and services, or 13.91 months of goods only, higher than the international benchmark of 3 months and a robust buffer against shocks.
Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, chairman of the Senate Committee, expressed satisfaction with the CBN Governor's report. Now, the Nigerian Senate has passed for second reading the 2025 appropriation bill of 49.7 trillion naira presented before the joint session of the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu. The passage of the budget came as the Senate adjourned its plenary session until January 14, 2025 to allow lawmakers to partake in the Christmas and New Year festivities. Leading the debate on the general principles of the 2025 appropriation bill during the plenary on Thursday, the Senate leader, Bayemi Bamidele, announced that the bill is deemed to have been read for the first time by the presentation before the joint session of the National Assembly, hence the commencement of the general debate. Bamidele listed major highlights of the budget to include oil price benchmark of $75 per barrel and daily oil production estimate of 2.06 million barrels per day, and exchange rate 1,500 naira to the US dollar for the 2025 fiscal year.
2025 budget has seen a significant increase of 74.18%, reaching 49.7 trillion in nominal terms, signaling a bold fiscal strategy aimed at addressing persistent infrastructure gaps and development challenges.
Majority of the senators who made contributions to the debate commended President Tinubu for the budget, saying it was indeed a budget of restoration.
The focus of the budget on national security and defense is commendable. The focus on investing in people, investing in education, investing in healthcare and infrastructure is highly commendable. But I would like to draw attention before I sit to the fact that there is clear omission. Not really an omission, maybe because we have not passed the South-South Development Commission bill. But I just want us to draw attention to the fact that whereas funding has been provided from all other development commissions, zonal development commissions, that of the South-South, maybe because it has not been assented to law, has not been provided for. There minutes. We must commend our armed forces, but we must continue to demand for better and improved performance. And with this kind of funding, I think what we need to do is to keep our eyes on the ball. That is to say that we ask for accountability. We insist on transparency. Not keep ourselves peacefully. I don't see how we can even do anything in Nigeria. In putting defense and security as a top priority, it means we will do a lot to go back to agriculture. But once we go to agriculture, I would like to see where this budget will address some issue and put stimulus into banks like Bank of Agriculture, the Bank of Industry, so that we can put stimulus back to the economy.
They called for full implementation of the budget by the executive when approved.
Budget is just not enough. That is written to be able to send a clear message. The clear message is all of us meet our people, our constituents, are their life being worse off last year than this year. It is important that the president pays a lot of attention to security. One of the cardinal things that he has mentioned that endeared my mind to the budget is the issue of security. I think without security, we can no longer do anything feasible. We can no longer make progress. This budget has come with a lot of hopes, and I hope the National Assembly, as it is, should be able to make sure that the performance of the budget of 2025 performs much better. To say that my experience has taught me that throwing money at people without ensuring that they use the money strictly for the purpose for which it was appropriated can only lead to what I call goal displacement, replacing popular goal with what is convenient to those who are charged with the responsibility of managing resources that are appropriated for them.
So I hope that if Mr. President keeps to his word and the budget works properly, we hope that energy provision will be seriously improved and our environment, especially security, improves, and we'll be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel in the present inflow of foreign investment that the government.
To where I have concern, Mr. President, my concern is on the infrastructure proposed by Mr. President to be built in 2025. During the budget speech, Mr. President highlighted that Sokoto-Badagry Highway will be built and the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be built. I was waiting to hear that the President will build the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri railway line, which is the Eastern Rail Line. The legacy project, Eastern Rail Line, going from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, but it does appear that it has been overlooked again.
After a robust debate, President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, referred the 2025 budgetary estimate to the Senate Committee on Appropriation for further legislative action, giving 4 weeks to report back to the Senate on the floor.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to authorize the issues for the year ending 31st day of December 2025 and for related matters 2024. Second reading taken. The bill is now referred to the Committee on Appropriation to report back to the Senate in 4 weeks.
When the Senate reconvenes in January, further deliberations on the budget are expected, along with discussions on other critical national issues. We'll go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll give you stories on the international front as well as the present world of sports. So stay with us.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes of Afia.com.
Just watching news today right here on Afia TV, and I am Marvelous Apuamaga. On the foreign scene, President Joe Biden will travel to Italy next month to meet with Pope Francis and top Italian officials for what is expected to be the final international trip of his presidency. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Biden will also meet with Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and President Sergio Mattarella during the January 9 to 12 trip. According to Jean-Pierre, Biden accepted Francis' invitation to visit the Vatican during a phone call on Thursday. Recall that Biden, a practicing Roman Catholic, last met privately with Francis earlier this year while in Italy for the G7 leaders meeting. Moving on to the Brazil World of Sports, the Joint Technical Committee for the 22nd National Sports Festival, Ogun 2024, has approved an adjustment of the Games date to allow the Games reflect the new direction of sports in the country and also provide more time for the implementation of recommendations made during the Joint Technical Meeting. According to a communique jointly signed by the Director General of the National Sports Commission and Chairman of the Organizing Committee, Honorable Adebukola Olakpade, and the Honorable Commissioner for Sports Development, Ogun State, Honorable Wasiu Isaka, the Gateway Games will now take place from May 16 to 30, 2025, while the zonal eliminations for team sports are scheduled to hold from February 23 to 28, 2025. As part of the resolutions, it was agreed that the second joint technical meeting and inspection visit would be necessary to ensure that all observed issues have been adequately addressed ahead of the Games. And lastly, on the exciting world of sports, the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) has rescheduled the match day 17 clash between Awka United and Heartland FC. The clash, earlier slated for Sunday, December 22nd, has been moved by a day billed to be held at the Gosola Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Recall that the league body also rearranged the matchday 17 fixture between Eyimba and Nasarawa United owing to logistics issue by Eyimba FC. Now to end the news, here is a recap of the top stories. Friends Initiative has honored Governor Mba's achievement. In Abuja, State House gets new permanent secretary. On the business news, Central Bank of Nigeria has announced $42.01 billion as external reserves. On foreign scene, President Biden is to meet with Pope Francis in January. And that's all on the news today. Many thanks for staying with us. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I am Marvelous Apomaga, saying have a lovely day.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on Lunch Break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.